On today's lesson, I'm going to give you 3 keys for getting more balls at the net, hitting more winners, and being more successful in doubles. So let's get started. All right, so it should go without saying that when you're at the net in doubles, you're trying to get as many balls as possible and play offense when you get them. And step number 1 to getting more balls is you have to understand the baseline tendencies of most opponents, and that's to hit away from the net player, especially when they're starting a match. So if we're in a one-up, one-back cross court, that means they're going to hit cross court away from the net player. If we're in a one-up, one-back down the line, that means they're going to go down the line early. And this applies to maybe 90% of the players out there. Now, every once in a while, I'll get a comment online, usually from a higher ranked player, and they say they like to go down the line early to keep their opponents honest. And that's true, that will happen sometimes, but I have never heard someone say they go down the line the first 5 times of a match. I've heard someone say I return down the line to start a match once to keep them honest, but not 5 times in a row. So even if you're not the normal player, most people go cross court or away from the net player to start, but even if someone goes down the line on you early, there's still a really good chance they're going to go away from you on the next couple points. So once you've finally established the fact that most people will hit away from you to start a match, what do you do with that information? You poach early and often. For 99% of the people watching this video, your default is probably to stay and sprinkle in poaching. I want your default to be poaching and you sprinkle in the stay. And here's the cold, hard truth. If someone starts the match hitting away from you and you never poach, you're not in the game yet, you're not going to get many balls. And so if you want to start a pattern and get them to start hitting to you some and get more balls, you're going to have to poach a lot. And that means the earlier you do it, the better. If you wait until the second set, you're not going to have enough time to set up patterns and get more balls. So make it a habit, start the match, poaching is the default. You know they're going away from you, and you're going to get a lot of balls right off the bat. Now, if you actually have the courage and the bravery to follow my advice and poach early and make it your default option, what's going to start happening? Of course, they're going to start going down your line more, and that's where faking and staying becomes a very viable option. One of the most common mistakes I see is people skip step 2 and go straight to step 3. So they like to come out and fake early, but faking only works if you've poached a lot. Think of a pitcher in baseball. If you start the game with 10 straight changeups, you're really just throwing slow pitches. You have to have a couple really good fastballs for a changeup to work. And if you want your fake to work, you can't come out and fake 10 times to start the match. You've got to poach 5, 6 times, and then your fake will be super effective. And in my eyes, there are also 2 main keys that kind of predict whether your fake will work. Number 1 is the amount of time that has passed since your last successful poach. So if I poach successfully on a player at 30 all, a point is played, and now it's deuce, that poach is still very, very fresh in his mind, and a fake might work. Now, if I poach on that player at 30 all, the game ends, I serve a game, then they serve another game, a different server. Now my partner serves, and we get back to that original server. It might be 20 minutes since my last successful poach against them, and they've already forgotten. So I would probably poach again in that situation. I would not think my successful poach was fresh in their mind and that a fake would work. So the amount of time between successful poaches matters, but it also matters that you're playing 2 individuals on the other side of the net. And yes, they talk about strategy, but if I poach on you as the server on your first ground stroke, that's going to be fresh in your mind. Then we're going to serve a game, and now there's a different server and a different person hitting a +1 ground stroke. And so if I'm trying to poach on that person, they don't have any emotional trauma from my poach. So I would probably poach again on them to start a new pattern with that particular player. So view each player on the court individually, and you're playing that psychological battle where you need to poach on that specific player a couple times before you fake against that specific player. All right, so let's take a look at some of these principles in action. I want you to watch the Duke net player on the near side here. You can see the score is 40-30. And again, people are going to hit away from the net player to start a match. We have a fake there, which we're going to talk about, and a successful poach. So know the baseline. Know that baseliners and servers on their ground strokes are going to hit away from the net player until you've poached and given them a reason not to. So this fake that we're going to see from our Duke net player is really quality. It's very aggressive. He covers a lot of ground. He times it before the bounce. It's an A++ fake. The only problem is he hasn't poached in the match yet. It's 40-30. There's only 5 points, and he hadn't poached. So there's no reason why that server is going to respect the threat of a really good fake. So he skipped step 2 and went right to the fake, and it was very, very useless. Now, credit to him. He realized after that fake, if I don't get the ball, this guy's not hitting to me. And so now he makes that aggressive move really far over, actually all the way in the doubles alley, and hits this nice volley winner to set up a no ad. All right, so we've got the very next point. And one thing I mentioned with faking that matters is the amount of time that's passed and that you're doing it against the same player. So we have the same server who has the emotional trauma of our net player poaching on him at 40-30. And not much time has passed because it's only been 1 point. So this would be a very good time where a nice quality fake might work, especially on the first ball. So we'll play this point out. No ad, second serve. Returner goes line. And the server just serves up a cupcake right to our net guy. Now, why would that be? It's because there was immediate trauma the point before of a poach. Our net player gives a little bit of a fake. He slides to the middle, but it's a little generous to call that a fake. But he is positioning himself and he's staying on the first ball because he knows, hey, I just poached and it worked. There's a good chance this guy wants to go around me. So you had step 2, which was a good poach. You used step 3, which is a fake and stay immediately after. And we got a cupcake volley right here to start off the match with a break of serve. So once you master and accept these 3 ideas, number 1, that most players' baseline tendency is to hit away from you. Number 2, that you need to make poaching your default and poach early. And number 3, after you've poached successfully and not much time has passed, you're gonna sprinkle in those fakes. I think you're gonna realize you get a ton of volleys and you hit a lot more winners and you feel a lot more confident at the net. And if you wanna work with me one-on-one, on these double skills, you can visit www.stokeytenniscoaching.com, and it also has information on my upcoming New York City doubles camp, which will be a blast as well. So I hope to see you all out there.